Hello everyone, I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm the Nerd on the Street, and today we are testing out the refactoring branch of Kdenlive. Alright everyone, so as you may or may not know, my video editor of choice is Kdenlive. I've been video editing on Linux for a long time, and when I first got started on Linux specifically, I think I used OpenShot first. And I've tried out some others over the years, like PTV. I think Flowblade was a little bit of a more recent one, and I've tried out Lightworks before as well. But Kdenlive is my favorite video editor to use, not just on Linux, but on any platform. I've used Vegas Pro on Windows, I've used Final Cut 10 on Mac OS. Those are my two favorite platform-specific editors for each of those platforms, but I still prefer Kdenlive over anything else as a video editor. I've just gotten very used to the way that I work in Kdenlive, the way I've got the shortcuts assigned, the way I've got the layout customized, and I just would not be as productive when I'm editing if it weren't for Kdenlive. So I really appreciate what Kdenlive is doing for Linux. They make an excellent free and open source video editor. Now for over a year and a half, the Kdenlive developers have actually been making two versions of the program. They've been maintaining the current version of Kdenlive, which is what I've been using along with everyone else, but they've actually been working on another branch called the Refactoring Branch. And the Refactoring Branch is special because they've been basically rewriting a lot of the program to make it work better. They've been making some big changes, bigger changes than they could make in regular updates, but by maintaining this separate branch, they were able to make these breaking changes without interrupting people's workflow. And this August, they're planning to release the refactoring version as an actual final version of Kdenlive, which I am very excited about. Now right here on my screen, I've got the blog post that Kdenlive put out yesterday, July 4th. Happy 4th of July, by the way, for my fellow United States citizens. And as you can see here, the Kdenlive folks are actually asking for people to test this beta version, they're now calling it, which is the refactoring branch of Kdenlive, and they are releasing it as an AppImage for people to do that. So I'm going to download it right now, and when I first came up with the idea of this video that I'm making now, I thought maybe I would edit one video in the current version of Kdenlive alongside the same video in the new version of Kdenlive to see how the workflow differs. But I actually don't have any videos or any exciting videos that are waiting to be edited right now. So instead what I've done is I went ahead and grabbed some files off of an old archive drive of mine, and I've set myself up a little mock displaced season 2 folder here inside of my videos folder. Now I've only copied the files necessary to make episode 11 of displaced season 2, but this was one of my favorite episodes of season 2, one of my favorites to write, and one of my favorites to make the music for. I enjoyed it as a whole, the way it turned out, so I thought maybe I'll go back and I'll edit this again. So first things first, we're going to open up my Kdenlive project. Now this was from spring 2016 when I made this thing, so it's been at least 2 years, over 2 years since I made this editing file right here. Now I've actually already opened it up and converted it to the most recent version of Kdenlive, just so that we won't get that dialog box that pops up when you open up in a newer version normally. But we're going to open this up, and this is what the editing file looks like for episode 11 of Displaced Season 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin this up in my top left corner here, if Mate will let me. Come on, there you go. Alright, and this is actually going to be a little more cramped than I normally have to deal with when I'm editing. Obviously I've got a 4K monitor here, but if I used the entire screen recording, you wouldn't be able to tell what was going on very well watching this as a video. So I am going to use the old version of Kdenlive here. I'm going to download the new one in just a few seconds and put it at the top right of my screen, and I'll cut back and forth between the two as just 1080p screens. So I will have to scroll up and down in the timeline a little bit. I did not have to do that when I actually made this episode. I was using a 2K monitor at the time. But this should be interesting. I'm just going to download the new version of Kdenlive. We're going to try and recreate this episode, and we'll see how easy it is, or how difficult it is, and how many bugs we run into using the new version of Kdenlive. So coming back over to Firefox here, we can go ahead and click the link right here in the blog post to download it. And it's on the KDE servers. We'll download from the preferred mirror. Alright, and I'll also be able to show you guys how an AppImage works in this video. Not sure if I've shown you AppImages before on this channel. It's very likely that I have, but they're actually my favorite form of universal installer on Linux. You know, a lot of the hype right now going around is canonical snaps and Red Hat's Flatpaks. These alternative Linux packaging formats that are supposed to make it easier to write one Linux program and have it work on any distribution. My favorite one is AppImage because it doesn't require any underlying system. For a distribution to support snaps, you have to install snapd. For a distribution to support Flatpaks, you have to install Flatpak. You do not have to install any prerequisites other than just standard GNU/Linux to use an AppImage, and it looks like it's done downloading in Firefox. So right here in my downloads folder, I've got the AppImage, and here's how you use an AppImage. First thing, go to your properties, permissions, set it as executable, and then double click it. Alright, and I actually just got on my other screen this dialog box coming up, so that's really all you have to do to use an AppImage. It's that easy. That's why like AppImage is better than snaps or Flatpaks, because it's that easy to use. So we're going to close Firefox now, and well, maybe we'll move it over here. I might need to Google some things about the new Kdenlive later. For now though, it says here, Kdenlive needs to be restarted to apply color theme change. Restart now, we'll go ahead and continue, and here, right there, here's the new Kdenlive. We'll put it up here in the top right corner of my screen. Now, because this is an AppImage, it does look a little different from a native application still, I think. Alright, so let's see what's going on here. So, we've got the normal Kdenlive on the left, we've got the new Kdenlive on the right. For you, if this all goes well in editing of this video, then it should just be cutting back and forth. You can see the timeline does look a little different, and honestly, it looks a little less nice. You can see the labels here are inside of boxes. Oh, the name actually goes underneath that. And it looks like I didn't even have my tracks named in this old file, so we don't really need to worry about that, but if we wanted to, we could type in labels and have them be there. Looks like we can use the arrow key to select the active track, just like the old version of Kdenlive. Yep. The default layout is pretty much the same. I added the notes panel to my layout here in the old version of Kdenlive. That was not there by default, and you can see I wasn't even using that back in 2016. We've got properties though, and yeah, I do want to see under our settings what our theme is set to. Okay, so default theme apparently is the light theme, and I'm getting the restart dialog again. Nope, this is still the dark theme. Breeze dark is right there. How about style? Style. Nope, now we've got the light theme. Okay, I'm just trying to get it to look similar. As you can see, my old... I am using Mate right now and not Plasma, to be fair. So that might cause issues, or it might not. We are forcing the Breeze icon theme. We want to force the Breeze dark theme. Continue. Alright, well this looks reasonably similar. So we'll just go ahead and leave it at that. We'll try and get these panels arranged here. Okay, and at this point I'm going to put my headphones on. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and here is our episode 11 folder, and it looks like we've got, I'm going to drag in the files as we need them here. So we've got, what was I doing in 2016? We've got a video folder and a videos folder. So in the video folder we've got nothing.mp4. Man, I wonder what this is. Okay, that's a minute and a half of Adam jumping around in Minecraft. That's why it's called nothing.mp4, I guess. Alright. And it looks like the one that we ended up using, or the three that we ended up using were 1636, 16, 1509, and 1929. Alright, so here are 3 video files for the video of this episode of Displaced, which is a machinima series, by the way, which means we were using Minecraft, but the video's not about Minecraft. The video is, it's about Displaced, the story that we wrote. Alright, and one thing I noticed, I can control scroll to zoom in and out within the project bin here. Could I do that in the old version? Oh, I never even knew I could do that. Interesting. Okay, but I can do that in the new version as well. Alright, and then we are going to grab, I'm curious what's in this videos folder. Displaced 2 episodes. Oh, yeah, that was a nested directory structure created by a bug in, I think, Kdenlive at the time, actually, which is a little ironic. We can go ahead and get rid of that empty directory structure there. It means nothing. And then our main audio track for this episode was just called episode 11.wave, which once again I copied all of the files that we'll need for this episode already to my SSD here. Okay, so let's drag in our our stuff. All right, so first thing we're doing is we're dragging in an audio track into the timeline. So in the old version of Kdenlive, you just dragged it down like that. It didn't fit over here, that's why it wasn't going in. But the old version of Kdenlive, it was this easy. You drag it in, you can put it wherever you want, and you start going through it and making cuts. Right. So the new version of Kdenlive, dragging it down, and it's not showing up. Okay, so I cannot put an audio track into a video track anymore. A video layer on my timeline. It has to go in an audio layer. So right off the bat, that's gonna break some things for me. I mean, you can see right here in my other file, I've got video 2 and video 3 tracks with just audio clips in them. I actually kind of liked about Kdenlive the fact that it didn't really care what was what. You could put anything in any track you wanted, but this new refactored version, maybe that'll make the program more stable, so maybe that's a good thing. But you do have to use an audio track for your audio clips. Good to know. So it does look a little different. The waveform is light on dark rather than dark on light like the old one was, you can see. And
Joel, what's your status?
still nothing. Okay, so that's working pretty well so far. So we'll go ahead and one thing about that was interesting. One thing about Kdenlive was that I usually have to go in and set a lot of my own keyboard shortcuts. So it looks like not all of my keyboard shortcuts got moved over, but I just pressed the S key to make a split there and it worked, which I thought that was a custom shortcut that I normally added. I thought it was like Shift R or something by default for Kdenlive. Maybe I'm thinking of another editor though. Like I said, it's been so long since I've used anything else. If we go into shortcuts, split, or cut. Yeah, cut clip is set to S already. I'm gonna go ahead and set a few other common ones that I use. Gain. Oh, gain is already set to G. Okay, well, what's one that I know is custom? I'm pretty sure that that's custom. I think that Kdenlive actually picked up, even though we're in an AppImage, I think it picked up my existing keyboard shortcuts from my old Kdenlive configuration. Volume is V. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that these are... Scale and tilt is C. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it just got my old shortcuts, which is fine, so we don't have to customize that. That begs the question, how come I'm clicking G on this clip and it's not adding the effect? Alright, so if I right-click this track, right off the bat, you can see I had set this audio track to 50% gain in the old version of Kdenlive. And I did that by hitting G and setting the number to 50, and that was it. So in the new version, I'm hitting G and nothing is appearing in my properties for this clip. And there's no checkbox next to the... It just has a label that says episode 11, episode 11.wave effects, whereas in the old version you can turn effects off temporarily so that you can see what they look like in their natural form versus what they look like with your effects. There's no check mark in the new version right now. So how do I add an effect? Right click. If I right click over here, I can add transition or add effect. If I right click in the new Kdenlive, I can remove, I can extract the audio, which just takes it away, apparently, because it was already an audio clip. And now our waveforms got messed up for a second there. This is still the beta version, and this is why. We can change speed, so that's cool. We would have been able to do that in the old version by doing motion speed. I don't know if the old one worked with audio clips, actually, though. Well, I guess it did, because it just let me put that on there, but... so how about if I drag it in from here? Audio correction... Oh, just audio? Where is gain even located? What's it under? Gate. Maybe the new version of Kdenlive doesn't have a gain effect. Maybe it's just got... Oh, no, yeah, it does. It's under audio channels. All right. What if I drag it onto the clip? Okay. So I can't just... First of all, our keyboard shortcut is broken for adding effects, because we just saw that that was set under our shortcuts. Gain is right here, G. So that doesn't work. And then there's also no right-click context menu. You have to drag it in from the big list, which I never used to do. Before, in the old Kdenlive, I would either right-click and add it here, and you can also do that for an entire track. You can right-click a track and... oh, no, you can't, but you can select a track and use your hotkeys to add an effect. The new version looks like we are going to have to drag, though. And the default gain value is 1,000%, which was way too loud. So we're going to set that down to 50 to match our old one. Now that's really quiet, though. Oh, that's it. That's at 0%. 50 is what I wanted. Nope. Now Kdenlive keeps setting it back to 0%.
Joel, what's your status?
What's going on? Why is this?
Joel, what's your status?
So now it thinks it's set to 10%. Maybe if I just manually scroll up to 50, it keeps jumping around. Now it's at 0. Well, this is not very functional right now. Okay, what we're gonna do right now is ignore the gain effect. Maybe they're still working on that one. So we'll just turn our volume down a click, and then we'll just keep going with it. So we're gonna make this sort of in the same position as before. I don't want to resort to this trick too much, but let's see when our position was. If you double clicked a clip in the old timeline, you got this box that let you know the position and how it's cropped. So this was at 0016. So can we do this in the new Kdenlive? Double click. Yes, we do get the duration box. And so we can set our position to 16, press enter, or wait, 016. Press OK. Alright. Alright. Oh, and we're in 29.97 FPS right now, I didn't realize. Let's go ahead and fix that. Guess it didn't bring all of my custom settings over. Continue. Alright, we're gonna drag this back into the timeline. Did we get a crash? Yep, we just got a crash. Alright. Kdenlive has always been a little finicky with stuff like that. If you're an idiot like I just was and you forget to go ahead and change your project FPS before you start editing, then it is liable to crash. But we are going to open this up again, and hey, it's got an autosave file for us. Missing effect blank will be removed from project, so that's nice. And then, and it's now, see, it's still got 29.97 FPS. We're gonna start over. We are almost 30 minutes into the recording and we're starting over. And why are we back on the light theme? Let's move this back over to Breeze Dark. Okay, continue, go ahead, restart, continue. And it looks like I'm stuck on the light theme now, because this is the light theme again. Style default. Theme is back to default when I wanted Breeze Dark. Continue. Okay, hey, look at that. Alright. So we're going to set our FPS 30. Gonna drag in our audio clip, put it into the audio there, set the position to 16, hit OK, and beautiful.
Joel.
Looks like our, yeah, once again, waveforms being a little funny. Let's go back and add our video again, though, because it's time to start working with video. And I've heard some interesting things about the way that the new Kdenlive handles video. So, in the old Kdenlive, you could have a video track with your video and audio combined in your timeline. As you can see, this is a video here. It's got a video thumbnail, but it's also got an audio waveform there. One object in my timeline for both the video and the sound. The new version of Kdenlive, from what I've read, when we drag this in here, this is 11. We drag this in, no available audio track for split operation. I'm getting an error. Interesting. So, as you can see, Kdenlive is attempting to split the video and the audio automatically. And then it keeps them locked together, which is nice, I guess. Now I cannot move this video up or down because I don't know if you caught it there, but that error message was saying I could not bring this video into video track 1 because audio track 1 was already full. And likewise, I cannot bring this clip up to video track 3 because there is no audio track 3 right now. So they're really locking you into specific tracks that you're allowed to use for specific things, which for me, when we get into big layering things like we're going to get into later, that might get pretty inconvenient for us. But we're going to try and power through it for now. And actually, you can see most of these clips are muted here in the original file for this. So we can actually just right-click this, ungroup the audio from the video. We're just going to delete that audio. Now we can move this anywhere we want. Okay. That is really interesting, though. So if I group these two right now, I just tried to select 2 items to group. Okay, so I've just grouped these two so they move together. I've grouped this video clip with the audio clip. I can move the video clip into the audio now, which I'm not supposed to be able to do, I thought. Oh, okay, so I can still put video in an audio track, but I can't put audio in a video track. But the video doesn't contain audio data anymore, I thought. Because I just removed... Does this contain audio data?
Alright then, keep looking.
No, what is this? Let me mute the dialogue. His path.
Alright then.
Alright, so this is acting pretty ridiculous here. So as you saw, let's get rid of everything, because I really don't like the way this is behaving right now. So when you first drag in a video into the timeline now, it makes you split the video and the audio, right? So we drag that down here. So we've got our video on top and our audio on bottom, right? That makes sense. I don't like it, but I understand it. Now if we go over here and zoom in near this sound here, and this is somebody's keyboard clacking away, moving. That was Adam moving left and right in Minecraft there. You can hear and see. Obviously, if we mute the audio track with the waveforms, and then we go and play this again, you hear nothing because it's muted, right? So we're going to ungroup these. So nothing's muted right now, you can hear it. If we move the audio to the right, you see him move, and then you hear him, because we moved them so they're out of sync. We'll undo that. We're going to delete the audio. So now, once again, we just deleted the audio. We should hear nothing. Okay? But now we move the video down into the audio track, and it magically regains its audio. And we hear it again. As opposed to the old version of Kdenlive had an option to split the audio. It wasn't forced like it is in the new version, but it had an option to. If we drag this same clip into the old Kdenlive, we'll bring that in there. Here's where that is, that audio. So we'll split the audio. Same thing going on. Now if we ungroup these, we'll delete that audio. Now it's just video, no audio. And if we bring it down into an audio track, it's still just video, right? Because we deleted the audio. So how come if we deleted the audio, how come we can move this back and forth and it gets its audio back even though we deleted it? And what happens if we do this? Let's bring the video in here, and this is very slow, moving the mouse around here, but that might be an AppImage related thing, or the fact that I'm recording right now with GPU encoding. Alright, but we're gonna go and find that little bit of sound here. Alright, so let's see just how much this makes sense or doesn't make sense. We're gonna ungroup these. The audio is still here, we have not deleted it yet. Now we're gonna move the video down into an audio track. So now we've got 2 copies of the audio. When I dragged the video into my timeline one time, I've got 2 copies of the audio. I'm a little concerned about this. You know, I've frozen my Kdenlive before, like back when they first ported to Qt5. I grabbed an older version of Kdenlive and kept it on my system for a while, compiled it myself, and, you know, used that instead of the one that was in my package manager for a good few months. But this seems like it's an entirely different way of thinking about things that I don't really agree with because it's not logical. So yeah, let's ignore all the bad things though. Let's not make this a review. And it's funny because I was gonna do a Kdenlive review soon, but then I was like, I should probably just wait till the refactoring branch comes out so it doesn't get outdated. Might end up just doing a review of the old version so that it's more positive. But let's go ahead and just pretend that everything's okay. So we will bring this in. We've still got a split audio button, even though it automatically, yeah, audio split failed because you already split the audio. Because you forced me to split the audio. Ungroup. Okay. Is that an option? Is it a setting to split the audio or not split the audio? Configure Kdenlive. Oh, we want to enable this. Timeline options. Video, audio, separate channels. That's for the thumbnails. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing any options about enabling or disabling our behavior there. Okay, well, we've got our video right now that doesn't have audio because it's in a video track. Therefore, it does not have audio. I think Kdenlive is, well, it's definitely frozen here. It crashed. All right. Okay. And it looks like we're back to the light theme, which is nice. Okay. All right. Let's recover our project, and it crashed again. It'll be a lot better than this when it comes out in August for sure. This time we'll choose don't recover. Okay, and let's just leave it at the light theme because it wants to be the light theme. It's feeling the light theme today, so we'll let it be what it wants to be. We'll leave it light, and we'll bring these in here. Grab our audio again. Lines, episode 11. Let's just try and get a couple lines of freaking dialogue here on the timeline. So, ungroup, delete that audio. Bring this over here. Okay. So here's where the important audio starts, and just to cheat a little bit, we started the crop at about a minute 13 into the video. So if we go 1:13 into our video here, looks around the same. So can we, alright, well this is a different behavior. So in the old Kdenlive, you can right click and click remove space, and it'll remove all the space in the entire track. And it makes it very easy to move lots of things at once, because it doesn't just move the video. You can see it's moving all the videos after it as well. But even when you're just working with one video, it's still useful to just quickly be able to hit right click and remove. But the old version of Kdenlive, I can right click and hold, and I'm still holding my mouse button down, and I can bring my mouse down and release on remove. So just with one click, it's just one click and drag. It's basically a gesture to remove space, whereas the new version, when I right click, dialog box doesn't come up yet. I actually have to, I'm gonna right click, there's no dialog box. I have to release the mouse button for it to bring the box up. So remove space, okay. The remove space function is still there, but I can't right click it as easily. Once again, that could be an AppImage thing, but I don't think it's an AppImage thing. But we'll go ahead and, so this started at position 16 and it was cropped at 124, 16, 0, 16. Okay, there we go.
Joel, what's your status?
Okay, and it looks like we got rid of some space here between the static and the talking.
Joel, what's your status?
Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Man, I really do wish the dark theme was working. I'm going to take a moment to save here so I don't have to start over again. And my icons are broken because we're using the light theme. Okay. So the next audio... Still nothing.
Not even a sign of drone?
Still nothing.
Not even a sign.
Looks like the audio clip stays the same there. We are going to make a video cut. And this one starts at 1:51:23. Once again, normally I don't use this duration box like this, but it's just because this video is turning out a lot longer than I thought it'd be. I just want to quickly replicate.
Not even a sign of drones?
Okay. Nope. His magnetic trail is still missing, and he certainly isn't marking his path. Okay. Well, at this point, it's working all right. This next one is 351. 351.
All right then, keep looking.
Uh-oh. I hit Control Z too many times. I think we've crashed again. Are we dead? I think we're dead. Yep, there we go. Okay. Let's just go a little bit later. I want to see how this new timeline thing is going to affect my workflow for more complicated scenes. Because I'll be able to figure out, you know, like tech videos like this and like Displaced, this episode so far are very simple with just cutting. I can do that with any editor, truthfully. But it's like the layering stuff together and the adding, well, the effects apparently don't work right now, so I guess that's not gonna go too well. But let's go ahead and get our dark theme back. Nope, we're not getting our dark theme back. Okay. Well, let's open up our don't have any recent projects, okay? Autosave files exist. We'll go ahead and try and recover. All right. One thing I've learned about Kdenlive is if it ever offers you an autosave file, you freaking take that recovery. It'll normally give you a backup in case the recovery is not what you wanted, but in the event that you click don't recover and then you find out you wanted to, that thing is gone. So you usually, like 99% of the time, click recover if it offers you a recovery. Even if you don't even remember it crashing, take the recovery option because they put it there for a reason. All right, let's skip ahead to, let's just recreate starting here. Jones, come on. You know Eli would... Okay, so we're going to pretend that we've been going for a while here. And we're going to... Okay, I can't control click to select multiple tracks anymore. I have to shift click now with the new version. Is that an option? Can I change that? Shortcuts. Select. I don't know if that's an option or not, but I'm used to control being for any two files. Like, let me go to something here. This is Dolphin, another KDE app. So shift is for when you want to select a range of things like that. Control is for if you want to select specific objects. So in Kdenlive, the old version, I'm very used to using control to pick out the specific things I want. But yeah, control click does nothing in the new version. You gotta shift, and it looks like that. Looks like it does the same thing. Alright, but we're gonna select these two things. I can change my muscle memory, that's fine. Or if you want to make that an option, it might already be an option. I just don't want to waste time on camera looking for it. So we're gonna start it right here. Now let's make a crop here and here just so that we can see where everyone starts. So 204406. It's gonna be 10710. And then our music1.wave here is gonna be 3606. Music1.wave is gonna be here in our sounds folder. No, it's not. It's gonna be on our episode folder. Music1.wave. There we go. So we'll drag that in to our other audio track and start it right there. Okay. Jones, come on. You know Eli would never do anything that's not in our best interest. Let's just go back to the control room and talk about this. Eli, keep an eye on the sensors. I'm going to try and lead him out of the maintenance area. Alright, so there are some sounds missing there. Eli, keep the radio sounds. It's kind of a little important. So we'll grab from our sounds folder now. That's noise.wave. Noise. Right there. Hey, gnome folks, you see what I just did there was called type ahead. See, I was in the folder with just some other thing selected, and I typed what I wanted to find, and Dolphin brought me to the file without changing everything on the screen and opening up a search box and thrashing my hard drive like Nautilus does when you start typing and it tries to search. That's why type ahead is superior to type to search. Just a brief sidebar there, but let's bring noise in here, and at this point we need to add another audio track because we can't put this in a video track. Okay, so we will right click add track. Underneath audio 2, this will be an audio track. Yeah, I used to just use basically video tracks for everything. This one has some audio tracks you can see, but my newer default layout has like 6 video tracks and 2 audio tracks. So you can put anything in any of them anyway in the current version, but that will be changing. Okay, so where do I want these sounds?
I don't see a lantern.
Nope. Eli, keep... Okay. Noise goes around my talking here. Keep an eye on the sensor. Nope. And it looks like... Okay. Yeah, once again, you see that? Our waveforms are being a little weird. Just a little bit. Put this right here. Eli, keep an eye on the sensors. Once again, I would be doing gain effects, but apparently I'm hitting G and nothing's happening. I can go into audio. What was it under? Audio channels, gain. Drag it on there. And it defaults to 1000%, and I'll set it to 20%. Eli. And now it's set to 0, so can't use the gain effect. Maybe does the volume effect work any better right now? I prefer gain because it's in a percentage value, which I can visualize better than decibels, but Eli, okay, it looks like volume's working right now, which is ironic because it's the more complicated effect because it's keyframeable. Can I copy and paste within the timeline here? Yes, at least we've got timeline copy and paste. That's nice. Eli, keep an eye on the sensors. I'm going to try and lead him out of the maintenance area. Keep an eye on the sensors. Keep an eye on the sensors. And we make a cut there. That cut goes to 2159. Okay. I'm going to try and lead him out of the maintenance area. Move that just a couple frames. This new timeline is noticeably slower. Like I said, maybe it's because I am using OBS with my GPU rendering right now because I thought that Kdenlive would need some CPU to work because the old version did. Maybe the new version of Kdenlive is just GPU everything, which would be great. I'll let you know if it magically changes after I stop recording, but you can see the old version here, I'm scroll down, 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 up, up, up. It just changes nice and snappy. The new version, down, 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 up, up, up. There's noticeable lag there. So, yeah. But we'll sync these up. Yeah. Yeah. This area. Okay.
I don't see.
Oh, there's a cut in the audio here. That would make sense. Move this dialogue way down. Okay. And on the piano key hit, we're gonna change to another video track here, a video clip. 610. And I can't put it in the track that I want. I can't put this video in the track that I'm trying to put it in to line it up next to the other video I was just working with because there's not any space for it audio-wise right there. So I've got to put it in another track first, and at this point I don't know what's... Okay, it was lagging so bad I couldn't tell what was going on, but now I have to ungroup, delete the audio. Okay, I don't know what keeps going on with the scrolling here. It's scrolling far past where it should be, based on how many tracks I've got. But now I can move this video down here and put it where I want it. Crop start, about a minute in. Okay, see how this looks. Okay. What was our duration here? 5 seconds. duration. All right. Is that... Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where did that video just go?
The sensors. I'm going to try and leave.
I set the duration to 5 seconds and the video disappeared. Where is it? Oh, it's way down here. Okay. Alright, it thought I wanted the last 5 seconds instead of the next 5 seconds for some reason. I'm pretty sure that's not how it worked in the old version. But we will just set our start. Where did it go now? It's just jumping all around here. It's moving our video around. Okay, so you can either use the duration box to set your position or your crop start or your duration or your crop end apparently, because you can't use it to set more than one of those things if it just disregards the other three when you use one of them. So that's great. Man, I really did not mean for this video to be so negative. Like, I'm actually really disappointed, because I thought that this would be working a little better, but I want to put this video out because I'm excited about the new Kdenlive.
Him out of the maintenance
We're coming
area.
up on an hour here. I'm not going to have this video be more than an hour. Okay. I'll just time it here. We'll take some creative liberty. It won't be exactly like the current displaced, or the actual displaced, but the next clip started at 3:46. We'll just cut it however looks good. That's how we do it here, anyway. Okay. Okay, this is pretty simple. I'm gonna move this dialogue even further. Okay. Just, oh. Boy. Yeah, you see how well I had this timed out? Obviously, we recorded the animation first, so I timed the music to the animation, but the fact that I wasn't able to exactly replicate it really... If I was doing this for an actual purpose other than demonstration, it would screw us, because as soon as that sequence was supposed to be over, all this text comes up on screen in Minecraft, because that's the equivalent of calling cut during a live-action, you know, recording session. Okay, so we'll get rid of that, though, and this starts at 4:24. 4:24. 05, I think, around there. Okay.
I don't see Atlantis.
It's not
Okay.
there.
So we'll cut it right here at this first piece of dialogue.
I don't see Atlantis.
Okay, that's not terrible. That's not too bad. So here's the deal with this. Hear this background music for this spaceship? Listen to it. Hear all that? That rumbling noise in the background is actually stone grinding. I've talked about this in a behind-the-scenes episode of Displaced before, or behind-the-scenes video. In our Displaced 2 Sounds folder, we've got Chevron, Lock, and Go. What all did we use here? Just Chevron, Lock, and Go. Alright. The normal one. Okay, so we'll drag that into Kdenlive. And what I did was I cut it up a ton, because this is just one effect. Or maybe I didn't cut it up at all, but I've got a ton of them layered on top of each other. And you can see I was using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks in my old project file, which now, since I can't use video files, I'm going to have to add a bunch of audio tracks. Audio, below, audio, audio, okay. So now we've got a ton of audio tracks that are just going to be empty for the rest of the project, so that this second half can be more organized. And where even
It's not
are
there.
we? Okay. That's where we are in our timeline. So I'll go ahead and just start dragging in Chevron, Lock, and Go. Why does it let me drag this up here if it's just going to give me See, it's like moving, it's scrolling super fast, but then I can't drag it here anyway, so I don't know why it's scrolling up there when I'm holding an audio clip. Okay. When we get it where we actually want it, there. Whoa, that's loud. Yeah. Alright, we actually wanted to start back here. I'm pleased to say that the snapping functionality in the timeline is at least functioning still. Which is good. Alright, and now we're going to need some effects. So let's see if the fade in and fade out transitions work right now. Just because I'm curious. Actually, they're not transitions. Those are still effects. Fade. Fade in. Okay, so the fade in and fade out effects for audio, you can hear. Now I am confused why we've got audio. We've got two audio tracks playing on top of each other. How come you can't hear? How come we can't hear the music while the sound effect's playing? It just cuts the music. Does it matter what order these are in? I can put it up here on top of it. Okay, that works fine, but if I put this below, and this is an effect, remember, that would make sense if this was a transition, because transitions are things that lay on top of what you're doing, like this, so they go in between two tracks. That makes sense, that it would affect what's on top and what's on bottom for a transition, but an effect is supposed to just be an isolated thing you're applying to one clip, so the fact that this works on top of something else and it doesn't work when it's underneath, there's no reason for the music to not be playing. That doesn't make any sense. Does that mean that I can't use, what's this do when there's nothing? This is blank, right? On this part of the timeline? Yeah. Yeah, that works fine. But then I guess it just takes over whatever is on top of it.
He certainly isn't marking his path.
Alright then, keep looking.
Will do.
But, I mean, that works fine. But down here... it's just that one spot where it's acting like that. Huh. Alright. Well... let's copy this. Well, first let's apply a volume effect to it. Turn it down a few decibels, since we can't do gain. Oh, wait, so it'll have to be on top, apparently. And this is jumping back and forth between 16 and 24 decibels. So now I'm going to need to add a bunch of audio tracks on top of this one, because once again, can't put audio in a video track. Above audio. Above audio. Paste, paste, paste. How's this working? Oh, yeah, I need to start it in the middle. Get rid of the fade in on the first one, because we're cutting to the spaceship. Nope. Okay. What is it doing? How come I can... I'm gonna build this exact same thing in the old version of Kdenlive and it's gonna work, and I'm gonna show you it working. So we've got music right here. That's the wrong music track. Music. When it gets loud here. Okay. And then we're gonna get chevron lock and go right here. And we're gonna use gain this time. Set that down to... yeah, notice how I'm applying an effect here. It has nothing to do with the music, because I'm applying it to the sound effect and not the music. So we'll add a fade out. and then we'll copy that. We'll also add a fade in here. Fade in. Copy, paste, paste. Okay, so this is what happens in the old version of Kdenlive. Let's see what it sounds like now. Okay, so it sounds like crap because I threw it together in 2 seconds. How did I even get this working in 2016? If it's that messed up. Even the old version of Kdenlive is throwing me for a loop at this point. I mean, I didn't have that many layered on top of each other in a sequence with the old version, so how about this? But you could hear that the sound effect is playing at the same time as the music there. So maybe if we just do the one on top of another, which is what I did in 2016 when I made this episode. As you can see here, that's... No, it only goes 1 high. Instead of like 3 it went in the old version. But I do stand corrected, because when I got 4 high in the old version, it also had an issue. Alright. I've been recording for an hour now, and I don't feel like making Kdenlive look any worse than I've already made it look today. I do want to say this. I am still an extremely huge advocate and proponent of Kdenlive. Like, I love Kdenlive. It is still my editor of choice. You know, the old version here that I was using, what version is this? 18.04.2 is what I'm currently using. And if I need to stay on 18.04 for a while, I will, you know, I will download the source code for that version and compile it, and I'll just use that for 6 months or a year, or however long it takes them to get the new version up to par. That's what I did last time that they refactored Kdenlive. This is not my first rodeo here, so I'm a little bit prepared to deal with things like what we're dealing with right now. That said, I don't expect the new version of Kdenlive to actually be this bad when it comes out, whenever it comes out, in August or whenever they finally release it. There are bugs. They know there are bugs. That's why they're asking for testing. I might try and sit down and figure these bugs out a little more methodically and actually submit some of them to them in writing. Because right now I was just trying to demonstrate it for you guys and like see what the general state was with this video. I wasn't actually trying to go for anything super scientific in this video, as you could probably tell. But yeah, now this threw me off a little bit. And I can tell you right now that the new version of Kdenlive, this is giving me flashbacks to late 2015, early 2016 was the last time that they refactored when they ported from Qt4 to Qt5. This is a very similar situation to then. It feels clunkier. There are things not working yet. That said, I actually really do feel a little bad about making this video now, but I still kind of want to put it out just to show what's going on right now with Kdenlive. But I'm still going to continue to use Kdenlive. I'm not going to use Lightworks, because Lightworks is absolute crap. I'm not going to use OpenShot. I'm not going to use PTV or Flowblade. You know, Kdenlive is still my editor of choice. The old Kdenlive is still my editor of choice. And if anyone has questions about it, or if you think there's anything it can't do one way or another, leave them down in the comments and I will prove you wrong, or I will help you and answer your questions in a constructive manner. Because anything you can do with a professional editor on Windows or Mac OS, you can do with Kdenlive. It might take a little bit more work, but you can do it. But yeah, this was just a quick look at the new refactoring branch of Kdenlive and the general state that it's in. We had a few crashes, had a few bugs. I'm not quite up to speed on how the workflow is supposed to work now that we've got these different enforced track types. This is a long-time Kdenlive user speaking, so, you know, maybe I'll just have to get off my butt and learn a new way to do a couple of things. As long as it speeds up by the time they release it, then I should be good. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about this stuff down in the comments section below, guys. I mean, I know this is on Kdenlive's website, so you can grab it yourself if you have any questions, or if you want to see if certain things work or don't work. Definitely let the Kdenlive team know if you find any hard, you know, actual bugs, because this is not a real release yet. This was beta software that we were trying out. But that's all I have to talk about right now. That's all I have to say on this. I'm going to step away from it for a little while and go back. I'm going to edit this video using the old version and remind myself how good video editing can be on Linux again. So thanks everyone for watching. But for now, I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm the Nerd on the Street, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.